Do you think it couldn't get worse? Well, it has. A MAGA Republican congressman, Mike Lawler, had a U.S. Navy veteran thrown out simply for daring to ask a question. But that's not all. What's behind these events could change the course of the upcoming elections. You might be wondering why this should concern you. It's simple. This story isn't just about them. It could very well be about you. But here's the twist. The real truth is exactly what they don't want you to know. Stick with me, because what you're about to discover might completely change your view of politics, and this is just the beginning. It's time to take a closer look at what's really going on behind this spectacle. Mike Lawler, who claims to be a moderate, literally had an American citizen, a veteran, thrown out for asking an uncomfortable question. This isn't an isolated incident. This kind of behavior keeps happening at MAGA Republican public meetings. But why? Why do these elected officials choose to hide the truth instead of facing their voters? If you thought politicians were supposed to answer to their constituents, think again. What's happening at these gatherings is more than just a slip-up. It's a wake-up call. And it's high time we ask, what does all of this truly reveal about our democracy? Mike Lawler thought he could avoid uncomfortable questions, but what he didn't anticipate was the public's reaction. When Roberto Garicano, a Navy veteran, was thrown out, the audience didn't just sit in silence. There were boos. Far from being an isolated incident, scenes like this are becoming increasingly common at MAGA meetings. What happened at this meeting isn't just an anomaly, it's a message, a powerful one. If you dare ask questions, you're the enemy to be silenced. But why this obsession with muzzling voters? And more importantly, who decides who gets to ask questions and who doesn't deserve to? It doesn't stop there. As the boos echoed in the hall, Lawler's behavior took an even darker turn. Not only was he avoiding the questions, but he was also manipulating the situation to his advantage, relying on his MAGA allies in the room to maintain a favorable image. This isn't just a one-off slip, it's a systematic pattern. And here's the crucial question. When did we accept that politicians, supposed to be our representatives, behave like untouchable royalty? The normalization of this behavior is far more dangerous than we realize. If this becomes the norm, what does it mean for the future of our democracy? That's not all. What happened next at the meeting revealed an even more shocking contradiction. While Lawler was deliberately ignoring legitimate questions, he suggested without evidence that the elections in California were fraudulent. But here's the problem. This wasn't just an isolated comment. It was an attempt to sow confusion and distract from the real issues. If an elected official can make such accusations without any proof, what's to stop other lies from following? This kind of rhetoric erodes trust in our institutions and leaves us vulnerable to manipulation. This isn't just a matter of opinion. It's a direct threat to our democracy. But wait. It's not over. The situation quickly escalated. Pressure was mounting as more incidents linked to this very meeting occurred almost simultaneously. In addition to the baseless accusations, another relevant question was ignored, and this time it wasn't even about politics, but about basic humanity. But the MAGA machine doesn't stop. Lawler, surrounded by his supporters, seemed more focused on his own image than on the concerns of his voters. It was as if the rules had already been set for them, and anything that didn't fit that line was simply silenced. And if this drift continues, what impact will it have on all of us ordinary citizens? We need to ask ourselves, how much longer are we willing to tolerate this loss of control? But what does this mean for you, the everyday citizen? Imagine being in Roberto Garicano's shoes, a man who risked his life for his country, yet when he holds his elected representative to account, he is thrown out without hesitation. This isn't just about politics, it's about respect, dignity. And this is how thousands, if not millions, of Americans feel. You too have probably felt this frustration, haven't you? If this resonates with you, say so in the comments. This is more than just a political story. It's about what we as citizens are willing to tolerate. But beyond the anger, it's crucial to understand what allows this kind of behavior to normalize. How is it that officials like Lawler can act this way without fearing consequences? The answer lies within the system. It's a game of power, self-interest, and spectacle. Politicians are no longer there to serve the people, they're there to maintain their power and position. Voters have become pawns in a game where only the appearance of democracy matters. This system thrives on fear, division, and emotional manipulation. And that's exactly what we're witnessing here. It's a well-oiled machine, but one that, in the end, takes us further from what a true democracy should be. So what's next? There are two possible paths ahead. On one hand, we have a system that continues to strengthen, where officials like Lawler feel increasingly immune from accountability, where ignorance and intimidation become the norm. But on the other hand, there are those who are starting to rebel, realizing that the situation has become untenable. The question is, will we continue to accept this system, or will we make a collective decision to take back control? Time is running out, and every move, every decision could tip the balance one way or the other. The next act is already unfolding. And which path will we choose? In the end, this isn't just about politics, it's about fundamental principles. What's at stake here is the ability of our system to work for all of us, not just for an elite few. When elected officials behave without accountability, it undermines our trust in institutions, in processes, and even in the future itself. The truth is, if we don't act now, we risk losing what little power we have left as citizens. But this moment is not lost yet. It's time to act, to reclaim what's ours, and to restore what's been broken. If you believe we can do better, subscribe and follow this analysis. This is just the beginning.